Hey, trombone players, it's Mr. Y, obviously. A little tutorial here on the level 1 trombone solo from the NISMA manual called Capriccio by Daniel Turk. That's how you say it, by the way, Capriccio. This is one of my favorite level 1 trombone solos. I love this one because it's really not about, how fast, how high I can play. It doesn't go very high at all. In fact, I think the highest note is a high B flat. Yeah, just regular, middle kind of B flat, not anything high at all. But there's lots of little musical details here. There's lots of dynamics. There's lots of staccatos and slurs. And there's lots of nice musical details that you really dig into and make your performance really, really special, which is kind of a cool thing. I like that a lot. Not really any weird notes here. The only one accidental we have is in measure 7, right there at the beginning of the song. You do have one E natural, so be careful about that. Remember, E natural is going to be second position. I always think about that as about an inch of silver. That's what you're going to want to look for there, instead of the E flat like you more normally play. So the E natural is going to be there. You want to always, when you're working with trombone, work with a tuner. And if you're not sure if you're in tune, basically remember you're playing one big tuning slide. So if you work with your tuner, if you can get that note really in tune, if you're not sure if you have a note in tune, play it and freeze on it in the middle of the song. Play to it, up to it in the song, freeze on it, and check your tuner and make sure what you have. I like the tonal energy tuner myself. It does have a little bit of a cost. It costs a little bit of money, but if you put it on your phone, it's a lot of fun. It's the smiley face one, of course. Tonal energy tuner is what it's called, but any tuner will do, really. This is just the fun one because it gives you the smiley face. Okay, so Capriccio right from the very beginning. Like I said, there's a lot of dynamics here, a lot of pianos, a lot of crescendos up to mezzo piano or mezzo forte. The whole song doesn't get forte until the very end of the page. The last 2 measures on the bottom of the page you can see are forte, but that's the first time it happens. It does repeat back to the beginning. Remember, you have a D, C, L fine right at the very end of the song. So you come back to the beginning and play it again. By the way, you don't have to count that 4 measures of rest when you come back. Just take a little pause. When you're playing it for a NISMA judge, of course, there won't be any piano player for you. So you could just skip over those big rests. The little rests you want to do, like the 4-beat rest and that kind of thing, you do want to do. But the big rests where the piano player would normally play, of course, you don't need to do those. Okay? So just like I said, watch out for that E natural on number 3. Looking at number 7. You're going to have that E natural there. Instead of the more normal B flat scale. It's not a B flat scale there, it's got an E natural in it, so it sounds a little different. That is a lot easier, of course, with the trigger trombone, because then you can play that C in trigger position instead of in 6th position. But it is possible with 6th position. Just involves a little more movement of your arms, of course. Okay, so from the top, I'll play a complete performance of this. I'm probably not going to nail all the dynamics and all the details, but I will give it a shot. Oh, and remember, always check your key signature when you play a song. The beginning of this is in B flat concert, just B flat and E flat. At measure 21, it does change, though. It adds A flats to the mix. You have B flat, E flat, and A flat. So be careful about that. Shouldn't be a problem. That's the key of E flat concert major, and that is, in my opinion, the easiest key to play the trombone on, because most of your notes are going to be either 1st or 3rd for the E flats and A flats, or 4th for the G, and then some others, but most of them stay up here. There's no real long reaches on that, so to speak. Okay, so right at the beginning. 1, 2, 3. Pause for the 4 measures rest, and then. And that's the fine right there, so that is the end. Sorry about that, a little brain cramp. I missed the first staccato at 17 that time, but I think most of the other staccatos I got. One thing you want to be really careful of, especially when you're playing staccato and especially when you're playing piano, which there's a double whammy of here quite a lot. Quite a lot of these are are piano and also staccato, is you want to make sure you have enough air to play a good sound. You never want to get so quiet or so staccato that you don't get that nice ta, ta, ta kind of sound. You don't want tick, tick, tick like that, obviously, and you also don't want to get too soft so you don't get a good sound. Remember, staccato doesn't actually mean short. Staccato means separated from the next note. So you can have actually a fairly long staccato as long as it's separated from the next note. Kind of a ta, 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 instead of tack, 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 tack. You don't want that. Okay, I think that's just about it on this. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to email me or ask me in class. And good luck with it. Thanks.